Well, the building that you can see was originally the City of London Workhouse Union building, built in the mid-19th century. And it lasted for about 50 years before the workhouse movement began to wind down, and then it was adopted as a health facility of some kind, and it went through a range of different uses until it was finally taken up by the NHS just after the Second War and became the St Clements Mental Hospital. And it stayed being that until about 3 or 4 years ago when the mental health unit went down the road to new premises at the Mile End Hospital.
My name's Dave Smith. I'm a community organiser with a group called London Citizens, which is part of Citizens UK, which is a national-wide body who employ community organisers to work at a very local level within neighbourhoods and streets, to talk to people, to bring them into relationship with each other, to kind of harness the power of communities really to then actively campaign upon things that are important to them, like the living wage, affordable housing. London Citizens have been working in this part of the East End since the 1980s, and housing has always been a huge thing that we've tried to deal with. So what we look to try and do is not just be an organisation that complains about things, but be an organisation that comes up with creative solutions to things. So we learned about the land trust movement through the States. We looked at how we could apply it here locally. We talked to our local community groups and they got involved, formed a board of trustees, formed a campaign group. They all voted for this fantastic site to be the first urban CLT in London, and they've been working around that since 2 years ago.
My name is Rahana Ali and I work as a borough organiser in London Citizens in Tower Hamlets in this community here. We've got 24 institutions that are in membership and 11 within a square mile of the St Clements site. That's about 5 churches, 4 mosques, 4 secondary schools, 2 universities, 3 unions, a Buddhist centre, a migrants refugee project, a homeless shelter. We've got the works here. It's a really diverse community. Our communities have come together to discuss the issue of affordable housing. It's a big concern for our communities. If you look around you and kind of look in Tower Hamlets, overcrowding is a massive concern and it breaks up families. And really that's what we're interested in our communities. It's how do we sustain families and support growth in a borough and keep that talent that we have here. And what we're finding is as affordable housing is kind of priced out and people are priced out of the market and there isn't 2- and 3-bedroom housing, people are having to move out to Barking and other areas. And we don't want our people to leave. We don't want our people to leave from our churches, from our mosques, from our schools. We don't want that breakup. So we've come creatively as communities with a solution, which is St Clements Hospital site.
I think the key thing for us is that it's a community land trust. It's not just a land trust, not just a financial mechanism. And why it will work is because we've got 200 people in this street alone who are concerned with overcrowding issues. The school, St Central Foundation just across the road, constantly give testimony to the fact that their young people can't learn properly at home if they haven't got enough flat space to do their homework on and so forth. So it's hugely important. It's an amplified issue in an urban context. And we've got the people and we've got the site and we're ready to do something about it.
But now we get into the nitty-gritty and the technical. The site is part owned by the Homes and Communities Agency and the HSA, and we are competing with the private sector and different companies now, and we're hoping that the power of the community and the voice of the community in terms of the support that we want to get for this site is going to be important. And the steps that we've taken to do that are putting in a bid that is now competing. It's gone out to tender and it's competing with the other bidders who are competing for this site, but also managing to galvanise support from our communities to the council.
One of the things that we hanker for in an urban situation is some kind of sense of place, some kind of identity. Cities are often kind of big turbulent places unless we have something that kind of anchors us in a place. Sometimes we're lucky, we find a street where we know all our neighbours, but often we don't. And so CLT is a rather unique institution which represents the people who live in a place as well as the wider community interest. And it provides an opportunity for people to have that sense of ownership and to take a significant role working with the local authority to be the custodian for that place. Local authorities are supposed to be the leaders of placemaking, place shaping, and CLTs are their best partners.
The most important thing that we can do right now is to prove to people that this model can work in an urban context, and the only place we can do that is here at St Clements Hospital. After we've done that, there's a huge amount of land which is currently owned by the public purse up on the Olympic Park site in Stratford. It'd be an absolute tragedy if some of that money didn't go back to the people who supported the Games, and they're going to have to live through it and have to survive all the things that happen through there. If there's a housing legacy that just endows kind of one generation of people with a public subsidy, it's not going to be a legacy at all. So we want to see some land up on the Olympic Park site used for community land trusts as well.